think it's time to blow this scene. Get everybody in the
But we're back on Mars, buddy.
Okay.
And it's raining.
It's all come to this.
The lounge singers are singing. And it's time for us to take that final trip on this 2-part episode.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The Real Folk Blues.
Yeah.
Part 1.
That's right. Were you bummed to start this? Like, were you like,
A little bit.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little bit bummed. I realized I'm not going to watch this again for a while.
Probably not.
Yeah. Like, it's going to need...
There's too much to watch.
Well, it's going to need 5 to 10 years for it not to feel stale.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like to have another fresh experience of it. And that made me kind of sad. You know, because I love being around these characters so much.
Yeah, I love the style. I listen to the music pretty constantly, so I feel like I'm still there.
Actually, you're the one that got me into the music more. Like, not because I thought it was bad. I just wouldn't have pursued it as something independent of the show without you being so excited about it. And boy, oh boy, let's bring back choirs, can we? That's one. Like, that's a thing that this show has proven to me. We need choirs again.
We need choirs, and we need fucking rockin' solos.
We really do.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need the 90s back is really what it is.
Hell yeah.
Can we get the 90s all the way back?
Oh, no.
Well, here we are.
Here we
Real
are.
Folk Blues, Part 1.
See you, Space Podboys.
Yep.
This is episode 25 of session 25.
That's right.
Of the 26-part masterpiece that is this podcast.
The piece of media you've been waiting for.
Yeah. So I'm going to start us off as we are wont in this podcast to do a little, what do you call it? The summarization.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to do that, I need to play some music right now. All right. So we're on Mars, as you mentioned.
Of course.
And we see Julia. What? What's so crazy?
How?
Is this a flashback? Isn't she dead? And then she gets a phone call. It says, the crime syndicate's after you. You gotta go. They're gonna try to kill you. They're trying to kill everybody. Because there's a coup that Vicious has just done.
Yeah. That's right. This is the first time we've ever seen her in the present, right?
We don't even know it's the present yet. We just had to retroactively figure it out because this could have been the original instance where, she quote unquote died. So we get things revealed to us a little quicker than Spike gets it, but more or less through these episodes. But the reason for all this is Vicious is like doing a coup. He's taking over these, I don't know what to call them.
The triumvirate?
Yeah. But they're like flesh bags. They're like
the
they're
little worm boys
pale
gnats.
reptilian flesh bags. Almost quite Jabba the Hutt-esque. And there's 3 of them, and they look
like
identical.
They kind of feel like the fates a little bit, right?
They're supposed to be archetypal for obvious reasons. All this shit is biblical. And Vicious is like, I'm going to get you. But the lights come on. They're like, haha, we knew that you were going to do it because we are the Dragon Elders. Our powers combined. We put Vicious right to jail. And so that's a done deal. But they have decided what we're going to do because of the coup. Anyone who's even involved. And this shows you how draconian the syndicate is, like the people lead the syndicate. Therefore, the syndicate is, which is... oh, there's something I don't like. Well, I'm going to root it all out like a root canal.
I'm going to rip the whole thing out.
And so that means Spike's got to die. That means Julie's going to die. So I'm going to send my tendrils everywhere, find out where they are, and kill their families. Which sucks for Julia, as we learn.
Who's been living alone in an apartment for years now. Right? That's what her deal is, basically.
And here's one of my favorite moments, is just that, because if you recall last episode, Edward and Faye left Bebop. Faye, it was less clear what's going on, but it was left in that episode that she didn't need to return. She got what she was looking for. And Edward is off palling around with Dad. So Spike and Jet are left to their own masculine devices, which means drowning their sorrows at the Loser Bar.
Incredible.
Incredible name for a bar.
Yeah.
I want to go there immediately.
I kind of do too. It actually has the effect of, no, I belong here.
And they're just like, they're just sad sacks who are like, yeah, we don't need them anyway. And then bam, what happens? Well, if you recall the first episode, they're in a bar and some gunfire goes, tears it apart, kills the Loser Bar operator, and Spike and Jet work together basically to shoot all of the Syndicate thugs. And we also get the appearance of, if you remember from Jupiter Jazz, the death of a confidant also in the Syndicate who is kind of somewhat virtuous in the camp of still holds it together for Spike. Lynn,
does
who died.
Right. Yeah.
And this other guy who looks exactly like Lynn shows up and he's like, hi, I'm not Lynn, I'm his brother Shin. Just call me Landfill. And it's pretty hilarious. And so he's just subbed in and it's just, oh, new Lynn, cool.
Shin.
And Shin. Yeah, new Lynn equals Shin.
Yeah. Boy.
And so he's like, Vicious is doing this thing to kill the elders. And that's why, so he gets the exposition dump and he helps Spike and Jet escape, not before Jet gets wounded in the leg pretty viciously.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
Makes you appreciate how tough Spike is, because that bullet takes Jet out of these 2 episodes, basically.
Yeah, he's also an old fucker, though, right?
He's younger than either of us.
Yeah, he's the ripe old age of 22.
I think
because it's an anime.
He's like 38 is the age.
Yeah, no.
It's
Spike
crazy.
is 14.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Edward is -2.
Yeah, well, I know that if you and I took a bullet to the leg, that's our year. Like, you're not getting me back outside.
It's my bullet year.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's yet to happen, but it will. It will.
I got one with my name on it.
So, more exposition dump. Shin tells Spike, hey, Julia's in Tharsis, which is a town in Mars, down Mars way. And that's news to fucking Spike, who thought she was dead. You know? So he's like,
I don't know if he did think that.
I think either betrayed or dead. Either way, dead to me. But
he's been uninvolved.
I guess that's
with her.
true. Yeah, he never actually explicitly says, I think she died. And I believe that she had my back and just couldn't make the meeting.
We know she was alive to go back to Titan for the last season finale. Because like she was on the planet meeting Gren, right? Like Gren met her, like, and he freaks out when he finds out about it.
Yeah,
so,
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So he does know that she's kicking around somewhere. Yeah. That reveal is not happening in this episode. You are correct. In any case, we cut to we're injured Jet, and we get that Dr. Wily ass, Dr. Light ass doctor who is all beard and hair. And he is fixing up Jet's leg, and we get a series of flashbacks, which I think is clever. We'll talk about more later, where he flashes back to the last job with the Red Dragon Syndicate when he tells Julia that, hey, I'm going to leave after, and you should come with me. And she's like, the Red Dragon's going to find you and kill you. The Syndicate knows no bounds. It's not going to give you up. You're a golden boy of the Syndicate. And that's just how they roll. And he's like, I'm going to fake my own death. And, anyway, I got a plan. Here's a note. Meet at the graveyard. I won't be in a grave. We'll just be walking on the top of the graveyard. That's where we'll meet and kiss. And then we'll run off together. And the job's done. Yeah. And she's like, I can't leave. I don't think I can do that. I don't believe that you can pull it off, maybe. And then we jump to, in real time, Julia's driving on the highway, and she has a flashback of her own where Vicious is holding a gun to her head, having basically discovered that she was trying to leave as well.
Right.
So, and Vicious is like, I'm going to kill Spike. And so I'm going to use you. Here's the thing. You tell me everything. So I assume a little bit of torture was involved, but he's like, if you don't, I'm going to kill you both. So you got to, tell me where he's going to be. But Julia tears up the notes, which we've seen multiple times from Ballad of Fallen Angels to Jupiter Jazz, and throws it out the window in the rain. And Spike sees he sees the note in the water, I think is the implication. That's why we dwell on it at some point. Back in the present, Faye is at the Mars airport. So she's in a liminal space, doesn't know where she's going. We don't know where she's going.
Yeah.
But she sees an old woman reunite with her son, Alfredo, who we recognize as the host of Big Shot.
Also,
based off a line at the end.
Yeah, good son. I like him.
He's like, we only know this, really. I mean, we can infer it, but it's not like he's in the Big Shot clothes. Just one line. Just, how about that blonde, co-host of yours? She's marrying her agent, I think.
Yeah.
So it's just the kind of thing of, oh yeah, that's fucking Alfredo, baby. In any case, she gets in her ship, and she's getting a call from Spike. And Spike's like, look, Jet's out for the count. He got shot. You need to come to Tharsis with me. You're going to help me with the thing that I've got going. You don't ask questions. Faye's like, fuck you. I'm doing my own thing. I'm the main character of my story. So don't take too much for granted that I'm going to help you. I'm not going to help you. And so she just ignores him because she has no obligation. And she also says in her head, Ed and Ian are also there. So the boys aren't alone because she hasn't gone back to the Bebop and they can take care of Jet. But just then Julia drives by and she's being pursued by the syndicate members shooting at her super cool car. And Faye kind of recognizes her and shoots out the tires of the pursuing vehicle. Julia basically stops after she sees, oh, you just helped me out, stops the car, and they Thelma and Louise their way out of there. Not to say that they jump off a cliff, but rather two ladies in a cool-ass car shooting at people. And Faye shoots another tire like a fucking boss, and both cars are gone. And then Julia and Faye have a little bit of a conversation saying it's basically like, thanks. And she knows that, we don't understand how, but this might just be the wiles of Julia. This is what she's just highly intelligent. She can sense that, oh, you're probably here with Spike. That's the only reason I guess a bounty hunter would be in this town or something like that. Therefore, Faye, Spike, tell Spike that I'll be there at the place. He'll know what I mean. And Faye's like, what the fuck?
They both seem to know who the other one is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Faye having denied, I'm not going to help you, then going to Tharsis, returns to the Bebop. So it's like, yeah, you were in an airport and you didn't know where you wanted to go, but you went back to the Bebop because that's, you grow where you're planted, I guess. But meanwhile, Jet wakes up back on the Bebop, and and Spike has set the ship on a course to Tharsis, and Jet basically joins him, and he tells him a story about how men only look at the past when they want to die, and he urges him, you don't have to do this. Just don't go to Tharsis. Just freaking leave. It's over, right? Why are you going to kill yourself over this? And Spike is like, I can't abandon Julia. She's the first woman who made me feel anything, feel like I was missing something, and she felt that.
I want to go back to the story he tells at some point.
Yeah, of course. And Faye returns on the red tail. Jet yells at Faye, saying you only return because we're just a repair shop for you. So what the fuck? And she's like, no, I got a message for Spike. And she goes to find him. And just then, Jet gets a call from the cops because he's ex-cop, right? And he's like, yeah, the syndicate's out of control. We aren't going to help you, so don't assume you're safe. And just then, they get attacked from the syndicate, basically. Because the coup has just erupted violence everywhere in the nearby area of Mars.
It's pretty epic. The coup. The coup's pretty hardcore, bloody and everything else.
Yeah, and Jet's like, okay, it might be too late to run, so bye, thanks for the information. And Faye is about to give Spike the message, but she's like, but you need to pay me for because I can't help wet my beak, which I thought was funny, because it's clearly a very instrumental moment for Spike. And when he hears it, he goes, okay. and he basically, without a response, he just heads out and starts attacking ships, breaking his way over to the graveyard. That's where he's headed. And the Bebop is damaged in that fight. And Jet tells Spike, "Don't worry about the ship. Go find Julia. I understand. I can't stop you." Meanwhile, at the Red Dragon headquarters, the elders are like, "Yes, we've broken Vicious. Now time to get us sweet treats."
That's right. Get us Sarlacc ready. Let's throw him in the pit.
Yeah. And just as that happens, in the most metal way possible, Vicious's bird descends and is full of bombs.
Yeah, just made of bombs. Bomb bird.
And just explodes everyone. And also, Vicious had plants of his own men in the security guards so they turn on it and it's all mayhem, and Vicious gets free and slices everyone up. And then he says the worst line in the whole show, "And you will shed tears of scarlet."
I think it's funny that you say that, because I kind of liked it, even though I know it was edgelordy and stupid.
God, Vicious sucks.
But he sliced him in the eyes. Like he did a un chien andalou on this guy. It's pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he's getting Dolly with that blade.
It's pretty epic.
So he kills him and he's like, "Now I am the only power, this ultimate power." And then Spike arrives at the graveyard to find Julia waiting for him. And then twist, she draws a gun and aims it at him. And to be continued.
Great work.
Yeah, it's all right.
Great work. Shall we move to the next segment?
Yeah. Let's, now you're tired of me talking, let's at least get 5 minutes of Adam talking in the section where we talk about our favorite execution in this particular session. It's a thing we call Pushing the Sky.
I have two very simple observations to end this show. One of them goes here, the other one in the last episode. They're kind of related, but I think they're separable enough that they deserve their own segments. This episode has all the sort of trappings that we've expected and come to enjoy about Cowboy Bebop, but it does one thing more particularly than any other episode, I'm fairly sure, which is it is working on a color scale, and it's working toward desaturation. I don't mean every color is working toward desaturation, but specifically in this episode, we're starting with bright saturated reds at key moments and then working toward desaturation. And I think the reason for that is this is ultimately a death story. It's the death of several people, but the death of a way that the world used to work. And to show us that, we're going from kind of fire engine red to a rusty, more desaturated color as the episode goes along. To wit, when we see Julia for the first time, she's bright saturated red. It's partly, I think, to help us identify that it is the present, so that we're not confused, because we've only seen her really through either sepia or sort of cold gray tones. We've never really seen her fully in the flesh in color. So when we do, there's two things that stand out about her: her blonde hair and her bright red accents. She's got bright red umbrella, bright red lips, and her car, bright red. There's several other aspects of the show that sort of imitate this. The bird's eye, the first coup, the carpet underneath it is bright red. All the blood that gets shed in the first half of this episode, in all the shootouts, bright red. It's all exactly the same hue. The blood in the past flashback is also bright red. Faye, her jacket has always been bright red, and this is the first time I realized actually maybe there's something that it means that her jacket is bright red, like it sort of gives her a kinship to Julia. Yeah, right. Which is, I think, clearly intentional. And the elders' chairs have kind of a bright red thing, and then when they're in the dogfight later in the atmosphere in Mars, all the explosions are bright red, which is not normally the color they are. in this show. And finally, and probably most importantly, the Red Rose. Now, the Red Rose specifically is the only thing we've ever seen in color from the past. That Red Rose. And I say that because the show always ends with the song The Real Folk Blues, where we get the most anime drawings possible of these characters in like little black and white cards. And the only thing that's ever been in color is the Red Rose.
The Red Rose
now, the reason it matters is as the episode goes on and into the second episode, all those elements, all of them get duller. They go into a kind of a rusty red, specifically the rose. The rose goes from this bright red at the top of the next episode to a rusty red the minute that Spike takes it. And it's not a very deep thing, but it's clearly trying to tell us that these people are dying and that's what this...
They're descending into hell.
Or just that the thing that made them alive is running out. And that's a thing that's actually said in text form several times. Spike says several times in these 2 episodes, like, I need to see if I'm still alive. Right? Mm-hmm. And I think even Vicious has a line to that effect. And the colors are telling us the opposite. That they've been alive and now they're winding to a close. So... Mm-hmm. You don't do things like that by accident, and I thought it was pretty great and meaningful this time. What did you bring?
100%. I kind of have 2 things. One is style. Before the show ends, let's just remind ourselves how fucking cool Bebop is. When Julia's driving and Faye lands the second shot on the pursuing car's tire and flips it, and then she looks back, edit to eye catch, no music, fucking so cool as hell. Like no one has ever been cooler than she is.
That car moment. Is awesome, by the way. Like it's like a '57 Chevy, but in space. It's so good. Mm-hmm. Anyway, please continue.
Yeah, the real kind of nitty gritty one I want to talk about is the construction of scattered memories, which we've talked about a few times, but we did it on Jupiter Jazz. And we have this echoed kind of leitmotif about how life is a waking dream. Am I really alive or am I dreaming? Like it's said at one point at the end. Yeah, it's so we jump between 2 different memories at one point, 2 different people, Julia and Spike, and we piece together how the final hours of with them together were before they got separated and he thought she was betrayed him or dead. Notice that a few of the shots, kind of like what you're talking about with the rose, directly ripped from the outro of the series. We don't know what those shots have ever meant, but they are ingrained in, and this is Watanabe totally clearly knowing how imagery works on the human brain and to the audience. And I think it's fucking awesome because he knows that the main plot's dream arc needs to feel scattered, which he's doing by jolting us into these different perspectives. But there needs to be familiarity. You need to be able to be the, gif of Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at the thing. I seen it. Because those, while aren't important, it's a really effective way to show dreams because we focus on just details around the center. That's what I think, because it dwells on what we've seen before, and these things are reoccurring and echoes of each other, which I'll bring up next episode about the repetition of the series. But it's like a mantra for the audience at this point. The rain, the small fish statue, the ripped up letter, the rose.
Oh, the fish statues, I know.
Yeah, all to say, here are my memories. Distant and fading, proof I was alive. Mm-hmm. That is what I must die for in the case of Spike. It's also all still photography techniques. Like Watanabe has talked about one of the biggest influences of this, which we've talked about, I believe, is Chris Marker's La Jetée, which every film student knows because it was a film made in the 60s by a French guy who's talks about it. He's a time traveler, but it's narration with stills that edit every few seconds. And it's like, oh, you don't even need a camera. I mean, you don't need a film camera to make a film kind of idea. But the concept is the same. It's these meditations on imagery that you don't really know what they are, but they keep reoccurring. That is an important kind of, I would argue, like a tether or like a line. When you're in the depths of this dream space, that's something that always pulls the audience back. Watanabe knows this. He knows how to do scattered memories really well. That I don't think anyone watches this episode is unclear on what happened.
No, that's it, without ever saying or having a line of dialogue to explain any of the complex pieces of memory or their demise. We all know.
Yep.
Because this property is extraordinarily visually sound.
Nice. Well, with good execution out of the way, we'll get to the section that I know is both of our favorites, especially these next two episodes, but we're just going to talk about the first one right now, where we discuss themes. You're going to carry that weight.
And we really are. I don't know what episode it was. There was somebody that commented on one of these episodes, like, where is that song with the kids singing from? You know? And I was like, and I'm laughing just because I'm like, oh, buddy.
Oh, Blue?
Yeah. I'm like, oh, man, I can't wait for you to know. I can't wait for you to know.
I can't wait for you to hear
to know
Blue
for yourself.
Because it's the end.
It's incredible.
That's not
anyway.
We're not
episode. There yet. Yeah. What do you think of Julia? Like, what do we think of her now? Like, we have 80% of her story in this episode, basically, right?
Forgive me because I don't want to put. I mean, she's a character in an anime.
Yeah.
Because I hate to do this because I think this is a problem in critical discussions of media.
Sure.
I don't want to define Julia by what she meant to Spike, but you can tell character details like the fact that she's highly intelligent, skilled in espionage, and very intuitive to the point that she can fucking hoodwink spies. So there's a lot of qualities of her, but functionally in this story, she represents this kind of, I don't know, Madonna, mother, everything that Spike is flawed in. He is convinced that she's the solution. The solve. Yeah. And so in a way, she is the promised land.
Why do you suppose she never went after him?
I don't think she was convinced that he would get out alive. It is an interesting conundrum given the events of Bebop that there's multiple occasions that she did know that he did get out alive, and there's nothing keeping them from being together. I think that maybe she thinks that maybe she has some self-doubt. Maybe she's like, if we were together, we would be caught. Like, we'd fuck it up because we'd want to be happy. Maybe she's afraid of being happy. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
That's interesting. I think the show is extremely uninterested in those questions.
I think so. Yeah.
I think the show's a little conveniently uninterested in those questions. I love that she knows exactly where Spike is. You know, like, not like data point, where is he? But she knows he's a bounty hunter. He's... this woman knows where he is. I could reach him anytime.
Now that this information is now on the net kind of thing, he's going to come for me. Because I know that about Spike. I choose to read her as respecting Spike's choices and respecting the pain she caused. You know what I mean? I choose to read it that way because I think that's what's intended. And that kind of speaks to a pretty serious restraint on her part. You know what I mean? Like, she's a very calculated person. And I appreciate that because I think Spike is the exact opposite. He is not in any way calculating. He's all instinct and extraordinarily good at it. So, yeah, I just think that's like... Oh, also, did you, not to derail you, but I just, because I don't think we'll mention it again, I think it's really interesting that, you know how Spike always sees a shaman in the next episode, Jet's gonna also try that, kick under that rock. Because
I love that part. Yes.
But there's a detail that I never noticed until this watch through. The Syndicate learned that Vicious was gonna turn on them by contacting a shaman. So that means that is something. Teller. The Syndicate understands there's a cosmic order to the universe, understands that there's power in this fortune telling, and that's where Spike learned it. He learned it from the Syndicate. So Jet does the beat cop stuff. He does the detective stuff, and for some reason the Syndicate is this mystical kind of thing.
That's
kind
so smart.
Boogie woogie feng shui, man,
and interesting. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty clear the Syndicate is the most powerful force in the system, the solar system.
Yeah.
Like if there's aliens or whatever, we don't know about them. So
the cops can't do shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So the fact that they kind of have fortune tellers, it makes them kind of like the old pagan kings in some ways.
A little bit, yeah.
Like they have oracles and stuff. Like that's kind of the deal here. And that's interesting.
Like Delphi kind of shit.
Yeah, yes. I think that's exactly the image they're conjuring. Yeah, and Julia's role in the Syndicate, totally unexplored in every way.
We confer that she worked at a bar that the Syndicate was a Syndicate bar, so she frequented Syndicate members and was well known.
Yeah.
But she wasn't in the Syndicate.
Is that true?
That's what I think has been documented. That's what I read online.
Because
I kind of inferred from watching it.
Because Annie and Julia both have nebulous roles with Annie's she dies in the next episode. Spoilers.
Oh, spoilers. Yeah. Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? Annie? No.
The answer is no, she's not.
No, she's not.
What a reference. Thank you. Yeah, anyway, I'm not pointing it out to say it's a flaw. I do think that what you choose not to show in a television show is probably something that if you're a showrunner, you talked about it, right? They had some conversation about what do we need to know? Yeah. And do we need to show this? And it's a difference about Cowboy Bebop from like an American television show that they're so focused on here's what the journey's about that they only give you what you need to know even about Julia. Like she's not, they don't develop her more than what she means, and she has her own individual identity that you can guess at, but you never really know. And that's it.
To understand someone's story, you can sometimes infer it from scattered details.
Sometimes.
That can be a flawed way, but as we've learned throughout Bebop, a lot of times they kind of understand, they can suss out what's going on here, whether it's a chess master running, like a hacking system or whatever. It's always surprising, but they get there eventually.
I don't know exactly. I mean, I understand that the flashback is a bunch of sentimental imagery, and I think that tells you that it's Spike's flashback that we've been engaged in this whole time. Like, when you think about the flashback images, they had them in Ballad of Fallen Angels. They had them in the first episode. They had them in the end of the first season. And they're all sentimental. They're roses, blood down the hand as a gun goes off, paper floating through the air. Yeah, doves. And weirdly, it's kind of the only insight into who Spike really is, which is a sentimental person.
Mm-hmm.
But he's so sentimental that he has to guard it. He can't let it out ever. Yeah. And Julia seems to be the only place where he could.
Yeah, I want to talk about this story.
Yeah, let's do it.
Which we'll talk about also next episode because there's a second story. Mm-hmm. But the first story is a story about a man who longed for his mountain.
Yes. Do you know what the story is? It's a famous story.
Oh, I've never heard the story other
It's
than
an
Bebop.
Ernest Hemingway short story called The Snows of Kilimanjaro. I happen to have read it between the last time I watched it and this, not knowing that. And I was like, oh, shit, this is a Hemingway quote. That's crazy.
That's pretty dope.
It is. Yeah,
I didn't cross that.
Yeah.
For those who don't know and haven't watched the episode recently, it's just a story about a man who's hiking or something. He injures his leg and he's saved by a plane. And as he's being carried off to safety, he looks outside the plane and he sees a mountaintop and he's like, that's where I was headed. And Jet hates that story because, as he says, men only think about the past right before their death.
Mm-hmm.
because they're searching for proof they were alive.
Yep, which Spike is, by the way. He says that.
Yeah, and then that turns into Jet going, "Why can't you let this go? I hate that story."
Yep.
So I'm doing a little parable for you here.
Yep.
And Spike's response is, "There was a woman. She was the part I was missing." I also want to say, no shade on Hemingway. That's a shitty story.
The version that well, I mean, Hemingway's very bleak. You know, like
when you look at you can do this to any story ever written.
Hemingway,
is like when you turn it into 3 beats, it's like, oh, that's dumb.
But Hemingway invites the critique that his stories are bleak, because they always are. Even the best ones and the most elaborate ones are pretty bleak.
I guess I'm more focused on Jet is a bad storyteller. He can't tell a compelling story.
That's funny. You're right. It's not a very poetic story, and when you contrast it with the one we get next episode, it feels less like a parable and more like a leading question.
Yeah, it's definitely focused on hey, Spike, Earth to Spike.
Yeah.
It's that kind of.
He has the right, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, I
fix your ships, I feed your belly.
Well, I think also, like, I've been here and your friend, and I've been home for you for these last 3 at least years, and what you're doing is you're gonna die doing it.
Yeah,
and for what? Like, I think, and all he's really asking is why,
And Spike says, for a woman. And
I think Jet understands that.
And then Jet, that's why he lets him go. He says, "All right, I can't stop you.
I've done it." There was a whole episode about it, if you recall.
Because we're in the sweet spot right now.
Yeah.
We've all watched part 1.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about part 2. We don't know about the events of part 2 right now. Is a unique moment in Spike's life because he actually does have a belief. He has a faith in this could all actually work out the way I wished.
I could have this be hopeful at the end.
And he doesn't let himself be hopeful. He's guarded, like you said. But that is an instantaneous change that should rock the worldview of someone like Spike, who is severely depressed. That's how I would classify him.
Really?
Because he doesn't see joy in anything. In fact, the food...
He's got a death wish, we know that.
The food that he scarfs down,
Tasteless,
yet he's scarfing it because he's got this new zest for life, and her name is Julia. Point is, it doesn't shake him. He's just a dog chasing a fucking car. Oh, there it is. Gonna go get it. It doesn't make him inspect. It doesn't make him look inward and say, why am I being led by these? He doesn't want to ask that question.
This show believes in fate in a way that it's not a very American idea. Like, it believes in destinies have to be fulfilled, and you have a certain ordained way your life's going to go, and you have to walk that out. Like,
I think that's interesting because I do think that this is somewhat a case against that too. I think
he doesn't choose his fate.
I think Bebop is trying to say you aren't locked into your fate if you're convinced of something. You can always find a different way.
I don't know, because they all try to do that. And as far as I can tell, Edward's the only person who makes a choice to change what their life is. The rest of them don't.
I mean, I think we would have gotten one with Faye because she's primed to find
she's at the
what
crossroads.
Her next step.
Yes.
She's in an Ed journey. It's Act 1
Yeah,
again.
I agree with that.
It's true. The only people who aren't ready to reset to Act 1 seems to be Jet, although we don't know where is truly at that point. He has the wherewithal and the understanding to know, okay, I'm the Bebop kind of captain, and you shouldn't do this to yourself. You're going to kill yourself. You can't live in the past. He knows that. Yeah,
Jet doesn't agree with fate, and he confronts that pretty directly in the next episode. But Jet's never believed in fate. Like, I think Jet's a person who determination, having the facts, outwitting the next guy is how I get ahead, and Spike doesn't believe in that. Spike, reality is set, and I react to it, and that's it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's already in the story. He hates the fact that that's where I was headed.
Yes.
In other words, the man on the mountaintop says that was my fate, and I was taken away from it, and that's a shame. And he's like, fuck your shame, fuck your shame, fuck your fate.
Yeah, you don't have to be this way, is the argument, but I think the show believes you do.
Interesting. I don't know.
I mean, I think it's strongly romantic with that idea.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that to definitively have that conversation, we'll probably have to.
Yeah, we should wait till the next one. Yeah.
To the next one. Because I do have a counter to that I
great,
I'm
excited. Mm-hmm. Because I don't necessarily want to believe that about the show. But it's hard for me to get around it looking at how it all plays out. Really episode by episode, too. You know, like there's a part of me almost wants to go back and redo the first episode again after we do this, knowing where it ends and like looking at all the pieces and doing like this is what it all means, you know? Anyway,
I've already done that for you, buddy.
Oh, great. Good. I'm happy about that.
But you're going to have to wait 2 weeks.
Ooh, that's going to be hard.
Because we only record this the morning of the release.
Yeah, we've never bundled.
This is not recorded
ever.
4 weeks prior.
How could anyone ever watch this episode and not go immediately to the second one?
I know.
Like, I don't even know how you would do that ever.
But we're only men. We're only normal men.
That's true.
We're
just normal men.
We're only capable of so much output. I would love to release this back to back, or like we consider doing a double episode or something like that. But I don't know. There's
have you ever seen that weird English puppet show where like a puppet tells a woman we're just normal men? And
that's what I was referencing.
Oh, great.
The famous meme, normal men.
I've seen it 1,000 times.
Yeah, it's one of those memes that it's like I don't understand what I'm looking at. Like it's confounding to me. I don't understand why it's funny or anything.
Why this is a show?
When I look at it,
it's so
I
good.
see them two interacting, it brings me joy because it just seems like a genuine moment.
They have so much fun.
But I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know why normal men is funny. You know?
I think they're just the right brand of silly together.
It's just they're being silly together. Let's be silly. I like really being silly with you.
Me too. Same.
You're a pretty good guy to be silly. Let's get out of here. We'll see you in 2 weeks, nerds.